This video is brought to you by Big Idea Design. They make titanium pocket tools and pins, like the bit bar, which is a screwdriver with a pocket clip and bit storage in the handle, and the TPT and the TPT slide, which hold a standard utility knife blade. They also recently launched a titanium EDC wrench and offer pins like the TI Click, TI Arto EDC, and the TI Pocket Pro. To learn more about Big Idea Design, click the links in the description, and you can also use the coupon code BESTDAMNEDC for $5 off any purchase over $50. And if you do, it'll help support the show. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the Best Damn EDC, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm in a very bad mood right now. Oh, what a day. I woke up and I broke the website. It's currently down, as of the time of this recording. It's been down for about 4 or 5 hours now. Oh, I shouldn't dabble. I've wasted an entire day trying to fix my mistake. And because of that, I have not selected a winner for the min-inch scissor pin giveaway that I mentioned last week. But that also being said, that's okay, because this week there is no theme, and I thought about it after I said that that should be how we do the giveaway. It didn't make sense, because the whole point of the giveaway was to pick a theme to then tell you guys about so that you could submit for that theme. But we'll pick a winner, and I will let you guys know in the first EDC Weekly in February. We'll have the theme that they suggested. Does that make sense? So rather than it being this week's theme, it'll be a future theme that you guys can plan ahead for. That's the whole point. So I'm just gonna do it that way. I hope that makes sense. But with that said, I'm also gonna do another giveaway just to keep things going. This week, I'm gonna give away the tiny little BW pry bar. This is the 1/8 inch version, not the 1/4 inch. So this is the little guy, but I'm gonna give this away. And if you wanna know how you can win this BW pry bar, just watch the show. I'll mention it somewhere in the video. And the last announcement this week, I wanna thank Jeremy Vayner. He sent me this from his own personal collection, the Benchmade 943. It is a beautiful knife. He said he thought that I would appreciate this knife, and he's not been using it recently, so thank you, Jeremy. I cleaned it up, I sharpened it right off the bat, and I've not stopped fidgeting with it since it got here. It's so nice. It's just a great, great knife, and it's a really nice fidget toy. Like I said, there is no theme for this EDC Weekly. I just went through, picked some really nice EDCs, stuff that we don't normally see on the show. And with all of that said, let's do the thing. So the first submission this week comes from a friend of mine, someone I spend a lot of time talking to over on Instagram, and a creator, a maker who I think deserves so much more attention and appreciation. This guy is a badass. He's a true badass. He is an artist. He's not just a leather maker, he is an artist. And that's Cody Coyote, better known as Coyote Workshop. You've seen several pieces of his work here on the show before. He's even been an honorable mention, but I think it's finally time to have him featured on the show he submitted. I saw this and I was like, absolutely, 100% featured. Coyote Workshop, here we go. First up in the picture is the Indy Vasquez full-size TI Scuba Steve. Attached to that on a lanyard are 2 Scoopy Loops Turbo Glow beads. He also has a custom Coyote Workshop slip that it goes in. His pin of choice is a Fellholter TI bolt pin. On that, he has a Nath custom Timascus clip, as well as Theta Tools spin top and their brass add-ons. He also keeps that in a custom Coyote Workshop leather slip. And that's gonna be a pretty obvious theme here. Everything comes with a custom Coyote Workshop piece of gear. The handkerchief you see here is actually made by Coyote Workshop as well. He says it's a limited hank. And on top of that is a custom IG patch from Ben Builds. He also has a monster anodizing TI Burnley Cypop Foamascus Anno. That is the tool you see in the middle of the photo. Attached to that is also a Scoopy Loops pink Turbo Glow bead. And he also has a Coyote Workshop slip for that. His watch of choice is the Panerai. That is not Panerai, that is P-A-N-A-R-A-I. Homage. It's a watch made by Parnas, and in his words, quote, a poor man's panny, or Panerai. On that, he has a custom Coyote Workshop leather band, and his knife of choice in the bottom right of the photo is the Strider S&G Dual Gunny Grip. On that, he has a lock bar stabilizer from Zircuti, or Zircuti. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. He also has a Rotten Designs Timascus clip. And then finally, he has a Coyote Workshop bifold wallet. He says all hand-carved, hand-tooled, hand-stitched, like all other Coyote Workshop leather goods. And the only thing that Cody has to say about all of this is because leather, it's amazing and adds so much to your EDC, custom leather keeps the crafts alive. And that's totally true. And his work is just phenomenal. It's out of this world. It is art. It's not just leather work, it is art. and he does videos over on Instagram showing him making this stuff and the time he puts into just something like a wallet. It's not a 2 or 3 or 6 hour ordeal. This is a long process, like a painting. And he's basically doing the equivalent of painting on leather, but by embossing it. And man, it's just fantastic. Go check him out. That is Coyote Workshop. And thank you for submitting, man. You now have a second entry into this month's giveaway. The next submission comes from Kaylin. You can find him over on the website whenever it's back up and running, or on Instagram at kfamous13. First up in this photo is a field notes notebook in pitch black. And then he also has a Fisher Space Pen bullet in brass. His flashlight of choice is the Olight i3T EOS in copper. And then he also carries a minimalist wallet from Recycled Firefighter. And his watch of choice is the Apple Watch Series 2. On that, he has just a generic leather band. He also carries a Victorinox Tinker as well as a Victorinox Classic SD in yellow. He keeps his keys organized with a KeySmart, just the basic version, looks like the compact version. And he also carries Apple AirPods for some earbuds, keeps those in a generic silicone case. Underneath everything in the photo is the Canella & Co. Serape Hank. And then finally, not pictured here, is his Apple iPhone 8, which he carries in a spec case, and that was used to take the photo. I really love this because a lot of the EDCs, and you guys know this, a lot of the EDCs shared to this show are brown and black and silver and wood backgrounds. This one does have a wooden background, but there's not really a ton of color all the time. There are certain pops of color, like one will have some red, one will have some blue, but this is a truly colorful EDC. It's got your brass, it's got your copper, it's got reds, yellows, orange, and in the Hank, you've got blues and greens. It's got basically every color in the rainbow, and other than maybe purple, but this is really neat. That Canella & Co. Hank always catches my eye. If I were to get a Hank, which I probably should, but if I were, I'd probably get this one right here. They're not expensive. I don't know what the holdup is. Anyway, Kaylin says, everything in my EDC has a use and most things also have sentimental value. I'm a college student, so carrying the field notes and the bullet space pen is great for keeping track of due dates and other things pertaining to assignments. The Olight is a gift from my wife and is a newer addition to my carry, and I love it. It's such a handy little flashlight. Wallet is a gift from my father-in-law, who is a retired firefighter, and is a great reminder of the sacrifices he made, as well as those who continue to put themselves in danger every day to keep us safe. I wear my Apple Watch every day. I'm sort of a gym rat and love tracking my workouts with it. My first pocket knife was a Tinker, not the one pictured, and I love it. SAKs are razor sharp and last forever. I use it for small cutting tasks. The SD Classic is one of my most used pieces of gear. I'm constantly using little scissors to trim my nails or open packaging. The KeySmart is also a newer addition, and so far I like it. It keeps my keys from getting too bulky. AirPods are the bomb. I use them to listen to music while walking around campus or listening to audiobooks while I'm at the gym. As for the Hank, I live in Idaho, and anyone who lives in the cold climates knows that when you go into a building after walking outside, your nose starts leaking like a sieve. The Hank is used to combat the unsightly snot dripping down my face. The photo was taken with my iPhone 8 in a clear spec case. I chose the background to be old pallet boards because one of my favorite hobbies is building things out of recycled pallets and selling them locally. At least he's got a reason for including wood in the background. I look forward to seeing more carries on this site, and I'm excited to be part of this community. Follow me at KFamous13. Really nice carry, man, and like I said, I really like seeing that pop of color. You don't typically see those pops of color on the show. It's really nice to see something different, and it's all quality gear. We've seen a lot of this gear before, but it's nice to see this gear in a different way, different perspective, in a different way that someone carries it. And I just have to note, the way that you are carrying your Olight with the clip inversed is pretty unique. I've not seen that or thought of that. It makes perfect sense. In fact, I got one right here in my little drawer. So pop the clip off if you can. They're on there pretty tight, especially these. There we go. Yeah, I guess you could carry it like that. So I imagine what he does is hang this in his pocket, put this on the outside, and the flashlight is actually much lower in your pocket. It rides lower in the pocket that way. An ultra deep carry clip. Yeah, and that's a good thing because this flashlight is heavy, much heavier than the aluminum version, the original version in black. So what that means is when you're carrying this one, it's less likely to fall out of your pocket. This one is very likely to fall out of your pocket because it's got that weight behind it. But with your clip inversed like that, maybe it won't. Anyway, thank you, Kaylin. You now have a second entry into the January giveaway. This next submission comes from just simply Josh. That's all he said in his submission. And I think he aims to make us all look bad because this photo is super crisp and If you go to his Instagram, which is Pinnacle Exposure, Instagram.com/Pinnacle Exposure, I think that's also his username on the website, but I couldn't check it, so I don't know. But if you go to his Instagram, you'll see that he is a photographer and he does really great work. It's quite fancy, makes me look like an amateur, and well, I am kind of an amateur, but it doesn't matter. This photo is fantastic. And first up, we have the Omega Seamaster 300 meter Master Coaxial. Attached to that is a gray and black NATO strap, and he also carries an iPhone 10, which he has in a Pitaka carbon fiber case. Below that is his flashlight of choice, the Olight S1R Baton 2, and then he also carries a generic leather wallet, doesn't say the brand. Below that is his knife of choice, that is the Crisp Reeve Large Sebenza with ebony inlays, and boy is that beautiful. He also carries a Kent mustache/beard comb, and then to the right of the photo are his keys and his knife. On his keys, he has a pet emergency keychain, which means he is a much better pet owner than I am. He also has a TEC or Tech Accessories P7 keychain suspension clip, as well as a tritium key fob. Finally, he has a Kershaw bottle opener/pry bar, and in the bottom right of the photo is his multi-tool, which is the Victorinox Swiss Army Rambler. And I just have to say right off the bat, you are a much better dog owner or pet owner than I am. I should get one of these. I did not know those existed, but that's a really neat idea. Just makes me feel like a scumbag, so thanks. Thanks, Josh. This is the Crisp Reeve Sebenza, the unmodified Crisp Reeve Sebenza that I would own. The ebony inlays are gorgeous. And of course, I mentioned the one that EDC Alabama customized last week. That is probably the coolest Sebenza I've ever seen, but this one, the coolest unmodified Sebenza I think I've ever seen. This photo is phenomenal. You make me look bad. Besides that, Josh says, this is my main EDC setup, which contains a few of my grails, although I rotate knives and watches when needed. While camping, I typically switch them out to a Benchmade in either a Citizen or a G-Shock. The Olight S1R Baton 2 is the closest I have found to the perfect EDC light after carrying and testing many others over the years. The wallet is as generic as they get, but it belonged to my uncle. After he passed away from cancer, I kept it and have used it for the past few years as a way to remember him. I always keep a card inside my wallet with contact info to accompany my pet keychain in the event that anything happens to me while away from home. Really, really neat EDC. I'm sorry to hear about your uncle. I just lost my grandfather to cancer. It's a horrible thing. And I wish I had something of his to remember him by that I could carry. I've been thinking about getting a custom keychain made, like just a little bead or keychain that would help me remember him. And I'm not sure what yet. He was a photographer, or they call it photographer, but he was for the local news where I grew up, Channel 12 News in Winston-Salem. And he was the videographer is what we would call it today, but photographer. And he's not really what truly got me into this, but after I got into making videos, it helped us bond in a way that I don't think I've ever really bonded with anybody else. So anyway, I'm getting off the topic here, but those little keepsakes, those little things that make us remember those who have changed our lives, inspired us, helped raise us, and form who we are, those are the things I like seeing and hearing about in these submissions. But anyway, thank you, Josh. Thanks for making me look so bad as a person and also as a dog owner. You still get a second entry into this month's giveaway. Be gone. Next up, we have a submission from, I'm imagining, if I were to guess, a female. We don't get too many female submissions on the channel, but I was just scrolling through, I saw the name, I saw the submission, I liked it because it has things I like in it, like, you know, black and red plaid and wood. Anyway, this is from Leah Larson. You can find her over on Instagram at Leah M. Larson. First up, we have the Spyderco Manix 2. She also carries a Right in the Rain notebook, which is the top spiral. And on top of that is the Fisher Space Pen Bullet in matte black. Wears an Apple Watch Series 4. Attached to that is a stainless steel Milanese loop band. She also carries a Ridge wallet in gunmetal. She also carries a therm lighter with a Zippo insert. Her phone of choice is the iPhone 10, which she carries in a Moment photo case. And she has an Olight S1 Baton as her flashlight of choice. Next to that is the Uncle Bill's silver gripper. She also carries nail clippers, as well as a Gerber compact multi-tool. Next to that is the Rutsu leather pocket organizer with some chapstick on top. And then at the very bottom of the photo underneath everything is the Hanks by Hank red and gray buffalo check handkerchief. And there you go. Very nice EDC. It is great to see submissions by females. I get a lot of questions. Do I take submissions from females? Yes, by all means, share your submission. However, if you do a purse dump, it's just like somebody doing a bag dump. I will not feature it just because the amount of gear that goes in purses and bags and pocket organizers and all sorts of stuff. It just gets to be a little too much for the show in the format that I currently have. Yes, I want to upgrade and expand to all that stuff, but right now I am at my wit's end trying to fix a website that I keep breaking and just keeping the lights on and keeping the show going. So in due time, I will expand to more and better things. We're just working with things as we go right now while I continue to break everything. Anyway, thank you again for sharing, Leah. This is a nice EDC. You know how to speak to me with the red and black flannel and the wood and all the leather goods. You just, you played me like a fiddle. Thank you for submitting anyway, and you now have a second entry into the January giveaway. The fifth and final submission this week comes from Trevor Lindsay. You can find him over on Instagram at Trevor_Lindsay, and let's just get straight into it. First up, we have a Leatherman Wave multi-tool. Next to that is the Leatherman bit set, but that is just for Allen keys. He also has a copper Olight i3T EOS, as well as BlissTech medicated lip balm, which he carries in a DIY copper sleeve, and a Bic lighter, which he also carries in a DIY copper sleeve. His wallet of choice is a DIY leather wallet. You might notice a theme here already. He also has a leather key clip. It's not specified what brand or anything. It may be DIY, but there is also a leather key organizer, which is also DIY'd. On his keychain, he also has a Screw Pop 3.0 utility knife. Next to all of his keys is the Write in the Rain notepad. In that, he writes with a Zebra Techno TS-3 mechanical pencil, and he also wears a Seiko SNK 809. That's pictured at the top of the photo. On that is the EACHE, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, oil dark brown leather band, and he also carries Big Red chewing gum. And finally, the top right of the photo is the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, which he carries in an OtterBox Defender case. Trevor also has quite a bit to say about this EDC. He says, "Hey Taylor, here's a shot of my updated EDC to kick off the new year, starting with the Leatherman Wave. This multi-tool is by my side every day thanks to the pocket clip. With my occupation as a field research technician for my state's conservation department, as well as a plumbing specialist at my local Ace Hardware, I find myself constantly using it to its fullest. The bit card carrying the varying Allen keys rounds out the tool's usefulness when encountering day-to-day tasks and small repairs. Regarding my flashlight, I had been carrying a Coast G19 for the longest time, but the inspection beam pattern was never really 100% ideal. That's where the Olight i3T comes in with its balanced beam spread and multiple functions, standing as a welcomed upgrade. The fact that it's raw copper is a huge plus as well. Continuing the copper trend, I carry a standard Bic lighter and BlissTech lip balm in DIY copper sleeves made from copper pipe scraps of copper pipe I've acquired from the hardware store. 3/4 inch M pipe for the lighter, 5/8 inch repair coupling, and 1/2 inch cap for the lip balm. They are simple to make and provide a great palette for some nice patinas over time. Both the wallet and key setup are also made myself. Both the wallet and key setup are both made by myself, as leather working has become a fun hobby of mine. The leather belt loop was a cheap no-name one that the leather tore through, so the hardware was salvaged for a new one. The Screw Pop is a great backup blade, and its slim side rides nicely in my pocket when attached to my keys. For my preferred notepad, I always gravitate towards Write in the Rain because it's what I carry in the field, and they have stood up to some pretty harsh abuse. The Zebra pencil is a new acquisition and seems to vanish in my pocket until it's needed. Fingers crossed it stays in my pocket. My wristwatch is the classic Seiko SNK 809, and the combination of its price and vintage field watch aesthetic give it a special place in my carry, especially with the old school Epia cheap leather style band. The chewing gum because Ricky Bobby told me to, fair enough. And finally, the S9 Plus is a great phone with a fantastic camera also used to take this photo, and the OtterBox Defender provides the protection I need when working in rough terrain where drops can be fatal for other cases. Thank you for reviewing my submission and keep up the good work. P.S. We missed the DIY videos. I would love to see one in the near future. Yeah, I used to do a lot of EDC related DIY videos, and I just haven't in a long time. One, because I realized I am not good at working with leather. I'm just not. I've tried and I'm just not good at it. I would love to be better, but that just takes a lot of practice. But I have definitely considered bringing back DIY videos. I'm just not sure when I'll be ready or what they'll be about. Anyway, fantastic gear. It's a lot of stuff we've seen. Other than the DIY stuff, I've had people in the comments requesting DIY themed everyday carries. I love making stuff. I love seeing people DIY their own things, especially when they turn out as good as some of these. But regardless, thank you for sharing, Trevor. You now have a second entry into the January giveaway. Okay, time to tell you how you can win the BW Pry Bar, the little guy, the 1/8 inch BW Pry Bar. And we're gonna go old school. Just comment 0 to 1,000, pick a number, comment down below. I'll pick the first person who gets it right or gets the closest, And that's all there is to it. Anyway, thank you all for submitting. Anybody who was featured in this video on Instagram or over on the website, RIP. This is not gonna be the last EDC Weekly of January. It will be the last one uploaded in January, but since the month ends on the 31st, which is next Thursday, the 1st of February will actually be an EDC Weekly for January. So you still have a chance to submit your EDC. Just go to edcw.co, go there, submit your EDC, and you're entered to win. And just as a reminder, that's a giveaway for a Hitch and Timber card caddy, a Big Idea Design titanium pocket tool, a Rovi Von Aurora flashlight, a Griffin pocket tool, a Yellow Birch Outfitters pocket organizer, and a KeySmart rugged. That's gonna do it for this week. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. If there was anything in this video that you saw that you would like to purchase or see more about, everything mentioned in this video is linked down below. If you click through and purchase something using one of those links, it will most likely help support the show. If you want to help the show even more, you can go to patreon.com/bestdamnedc, and there you can pledge. There are many different tiers, different sorts of rewards, and it just helps support the show, keep the lights on, and help fund future videos. Also, follow us around the web. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at BestDamnEDC. You can find me, Taylor Martin, on Twitter and Instagram at CasperTech. And until next time, carry on. I gotta go fix a website. Ooh, I almost forgot. Look at this. You see that? You see that? I love it. I love it. I just wish it had a pocket logo, but it doesn't. No pocket logo. No pocket logo, not yet. That was not an option with who I had make this zip hoodie. And just stay tuned, there's gonna be merch very, very soon. Also, we'll have little Best Damn EDC shirts like these as well. Have a great weekend, everybody.